In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question from a new artist who wants to know if it's possible to make a living off of their artwork. As an artist myself, I know firsthand how challenging it could be to get your foot in the door. But I also know that it is possible, just with a little bit of hard work, perseverance, and a little bit of luck. So, if you're an aspiring artist looking for some advice on how to make it in the competitive world of art, this video is for you. Now, with that being said, let's get started. All right, Bryson, how you doing, man? Great to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So I'm very, very excited you reached out to me on Instagram. It's always great to meet a fellow artist. And I checked out your artwork. I am a fan of what you're doing.
Hey, thank you.
And probably one of the things that I'm very excited about is hearing that you're going full-time as an artist at the age of 24. When I was 24, I was still figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to see young artists figure it out, using their resources to make it happen as fast as possible is something that I love. So I'm bringing you on today. So I know I can answer a few questions of yours about how to build a brand, how to maximize your exposure as an artist. But before we jump into that, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Of course. I go by Bryson Cole. My artwork goes by BC Graphics. Started drawing when I was 10 years old. And then when I turned 16, I got into hip hop, super heavy, started rapping, doing shows. And I'm still doing that, but it was 2021 I was just praying. I was like, God, I need a vision. I need a sign. I need to be doing something else. Like, I know you still want me to do music, because most of my music is like spiritual or about positivity and stuff like that. But I was like, I feel like there's something else I can do to give myself freedom. And I just remember him saying, do art, go back to your roots, go back to art. And I had so many family members around me saying, oh, you don't draw anymore. So I picked up the pen, start drawing. TikTok was a big help. My art, what I did at first was I was just mashing cartoons and rappers together. And I was going to play my music behind it. But I was like, no, I don't want to start off like that. Let's start off by just, mashing up rappers with different cartoons. And it took off. Snoop Dogg posted it. Ice Cube.
Really?
Russ. There's Tyler, the Creator. I was like, oh, snap. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I just quit my job, went full time doing commissions. And
wow.
Yeah, I've been doing that for 2 years now.
That's awesome. So you said a lot. So there's a couple of things I'm going to break down. So what made you decide to jump on TikTok and take your art to TikTok?
I was watching Gary Vee. I've always loved Gary Vee. And he was like, stop playing around. Get on TikTok. Get on TikTok. And that was my New Year's resolution. So I had that prayer in December. So then January 2021, I was like, all right, we're doing TikTok full time. So I would post every single day for the whole year.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. And I can relate because I come from the world of Gary Vee also. So I was reading one of his books and he was talking about Musical.ly and then how it could be the next Instagram.
Yeah.
And I jumped on and it changed my life. So I'm happy to hear that people following that information, it changed their life also. And you also said that you had other rappers. I'm not sure if they duetting or retweeting. I mean, if it's on TikTok, they probably duet it. But they were sharing the artwork you did of them. How long did it take for that to happen?
You know what? That was actually the quickest part. So I would post on TikTok, and then once I started posting on Instagram is when they would see it. And I would also post on Twitter. So I would take that video, I'd post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok all on the same day. And I would make other accounts and just tag the rappers. And after a while, man, it was like every 2 weeks, a big celebrity or whatever, I would draw them in a cartoon style and they would repost it or they put it on their Twitter. Or I think Lil Yachty, all he did was like it, but him liking it, it showed up on his Twitter feed of what he had liked and it got like 67,000 likes or something crazy. I was like, whoa.
Yo, that's dope because, so I want to commend you in a few things. Bryson, I love the hustle.
Thank you.
One of the things they say as an artist is trying to get your name out there. And it sounds like you're doing it. Like if you have celebrities reposting your stuff. To me, those are all good signs. I also want to give you kudos because you didn't just stick to TikTok, but you're using
Right.
the other platforms to try to maximize your outreach.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's paying off lovely. So I'm very, very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
And no, man, I'm pumped for you, man, because I know the feeling of when things start happening and things start making sense, like it almost like recharges your battery and it really starts to push you forward, especially when you grab that momentum. So, man, I'm, like I said, super pumped for you. So now that we know a little bit about you and what you do, I know you have a few questions for me. So I'll let you start from the top and then, yeah, we can go through it.
Sounds good. My first question I had for you is, what do you believe every artist should be doing 2023 in order to make a living off their art?
So, all right, that's a good question. And there's a lot of layers to it because we're pretty much in a recession right now, right?
Right.
And all that really means is the money is not flowing like it used to. So when it comes to people spending, they're probably not going to spend as much. Brands are probably not spending as much to try to hire people or do partnerships and stuff like that. So as far as an artist trying to figure out like, what they could do for 2023, I would say is to focus on themselves, right? Like, how can you strengthen your brand? How can you get your word out for what you're doing? I think now, like times like this are very scary because you don't think, especially if you go full time, it's almost like, how am I going to make ends meet? But so what I tell other artists is when you build your social media, it's like playing defense, right? Because at the end of the day, these brands want to work with somebody that they feel have a following to them, a certain energy, you know what I mean? So if you can take 2023 right now, build your brand, build your numbers, and market what you do, by the time money starts coming around or brands are looking for artists to work with, you're the first person they're looking at.
Right.
And the good news is, I mean, it's not really good news, but I'm just trying to look at it like the glass half full, is because these times are so turbulent that if you focus on building your own brand, you'll be doing more than the average person. You get what I'm saying? So if you do that now, while things are looking a little iffy, I think when things start coming back, you'll really benefit from it. So that's what I would tell artists to do, is to find ways to build your brand. If you don't like social media, I would try to find ways to get like emails or get text messages, or maybe build a following, writing on blogs or mediums and stuff like that. There's so many avenues that you could use to build your brand these days. I just think you should use whatever's easier for you. Like, I'm not a writer, so I would not, writing's not my thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but video makes sense to me. So me personally, that's what I'm doing. I'm spending 2023 to build my YouTube channel, build my TikTok, and pretty much be on the defensive, just so I'm ready when things come back.
Man, that goes into another question of like, how are you juggling all that? Like, what is your work schedule like? Because I know you post on Instagram, you post on TikTok and YouTube, and you're also posting different content. So how does that work with you?
Yeah, so I'm going to be very transparent. I am figuring it out as it goes.
Yeah.
So just like you, what you said, this is the busiest my content schedule has ever been, right? So usually it's just me posting photos, showing photos of my artwork, and showing people behind the scenes. Now that TikTok has grown, now I'm doing video, and as you already know, video takes a lot of time. You get what I'm saying?
A lot of time, yep.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to create evergreen content that will be able to work on different platforms. So my main focus right now is TikTok and YouTube. Why? Because of YouTube Shorts. I like YouTube Shorts because if you ever try to grow on YouTube, it's almost impossible to grow with long form, right? Now with YouTube Shorts, the algorithm's in your favor. Anytime the algorithm's in my favor, I will go towards that platform. So I'm creating videos for TikTok that will work for YouTube. And it's evergreen content. And when I say evergreen, I'm trying to create content teaching people the skills to craft and how to become better as an artist, because those things don't expire, right? Like if I draw something for Marvel, yeah, it'll probably have a good few days, but is it really going to resonate down the long run? You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's me also trying to educate people on who Anderson Blue is on those platforms. So that's pretty much my schedule right now. I don't have a timeline like we're working through it right now because things have just exploded so much. But in a perfect world, it would be, a certain amount of posts per week on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and then one long form video a week and one live just to connect with everybody else.
Live on Instagram?
Live on like a YouTube. I personally have walked away from Instagram only because I feel it's just not worth my effort because things expire so quickly. Nobody knows how the algorithm works. It's kind of all over the place. If Facebook figures it out and it's more friendly to the user, I'll come back. But for right now, I'm putting my energy in places to where I can post content and also make money on the back end from doing that.
You just made me solidify what I've been thinking about because my Instagram was popping last year. And towards the end of last year, and it doesn't even make sense. I think a lot of these platforms are changing algorithm or changing too quickly. Like as soon as you learn it, they change it again. So with my Instagram, I could get 60,000 likes on a reel whenever I was doing reels. Now reel, I might get 1,000 if that. And I'm posting more consistently. So it's like,
and that's the thing, right? Because there's only 24 hours in a day. So it's like, do I try to play the game with Instagram, right? Or do I focus on other things that might benefit me in the long run? The cool thing about YouTube is, and TikTok is starting to do it too, is if you put up a video today, it can still be searched in the future, a year from now, 2 years from now, Like they're really good with the search engine optimization side of things. So if people are searching for it, it'll come up. Instagram doesn't have that. So for me, it's kind of like it's not really worth my energy, which is also tough because I've built a following over there with the people that buy my sneaker artwork. But I'm trying to find a way to where I could be able to continue to post to let them know I'm still alive, I'm still here, I'm still doing my thing.
Right.
But not overtax myself.
Understood.
Yeah.
Another question I had is, what would you say is the best way to get more clientele or brand deals? Because I see you've worked with Spotify and you've worked with a lot of different companies.
Yeah. So as far as working with brands, I think it all depends. Like I'll speak from the artist standpoint because we're both artists.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's more about who you know, what you're doing. Some things just outside of your hands. Sometimes it's just luck. A lot of the stuff is just like maybe you have some connections of people that know you and they're able to connect you with other people. What I tell people is just put out good work. Put out good work. Show them the work that you do. Show them your portfolio, and be consistent. Definitely be consistent. That's what they want to see. And if you're so let me put it this way: if you're an artist, I wouldn't make it the top of my list of things to do.
Right.
I think it all depends on like how much bandwidth you have. So if you have people helping you, I would have somebody do that other than you do it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's just a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of work. Like I personally do not reach out to the brands. Either come to me or I have people that handle that stuff because I just do not have the bandwidth to do that. But I will tell you, back to what I was saying from before, if you have a strong following, they'll find you. They will always find you because they always want to align themselves with who they feel is popping on that brand, or on that social media. So, like I said, I wouldn't make it a priority when it comes to working with these brands because it also comes with, are you able to do contracts with them, right? Because they're going to send you contracts, right? So that means you have to have a lawyer, you have to have everything in place to go over that because you don't want to sign the wrong thing. And then, you have to meet their minimums or you have to follow whatever things they need you to do.
Right.
So there's a lot that goes into it. I do think if you're an artist they come to, you should definitely do it. Don't worry about that whole selling out thing. I think that's crazy. I think it's a great way to keep money coming in working with these brands. But like I said, I think once you figure out what you're doing and you're being consistent, they'll find you and then you'll be able to figure it out from there.
Sounds good. And then my last question I had for you, and it kind of goes back into money. What are the best apps or websites you would say that self-employed artists should be using right now?
Like to sell their artwork, right?
Yeah, to maximize the profit they can make off their artwork.
So I'll break this down 2 ways, because we're talking social media too, or just
Right.
like regular websites.
Yeah, we're talking social
too?
media, and then where you should also be selling your artwork.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to throw something from left field that most people don't talk about. I think as an artist, you should have an Etsy page. Do you have an Etsy?
Etsy. I do not, and that's why I asked that question.
so this is why I'll say that.
Okay.
So when you have your own website, people don't see it unless they're typing it in, right? Like they don't go to the website unless that happens. With Etsy, I look at it like a mall, right? So if a person on Etsy and they happen to be browsing, looking for different artwork, your stuff might come up, but they might have never heard of you. So now if they buy something, now you have a new customer that can link back to your website. Another cool thing about Etsy is if people are searching for certain things, let's say they're searching for like a Lil Yachty digital art print or a Lil Yachty artwork, it will come up on Google because of their SEO. So I think Etsy is a great place because it's gotten a lot better. It's grown, and it's also a familiar brand. So like if you tell a person like, hey, I'm on Etsy, they're not going to panic and be like, I have no idea what that is. It's almost like Amazon. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you tell them you're on Etsy or they find you on Etsy, they're going to make the sale. They're comfortable with that. So I think Etsy is a place all artists should put their artwork on there, and just to what's what I'm looking for here? Just to have a better chance of spreading, your brand. As far as another website that I like Shopify.
Okay.
I like them a lot because they give you so many resources to sell your artwork, right? So for example, when I was on another site, Big Cartel, right? I could only sell on the website. I wasn't able to sell in person. With Shopify, they'll be able to sell you a credit card reader that tracks back to your store, inventory and everything. Yeah. So you can either do it through your phone or do it through an iPad. Now, another thing that people don't know is if you use a credit card reader, right? Let's say you use Square or something like that. Once you leave the country, you can't use that anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's different currencies.
Right.
Now, so I did a show when I went to China, right? And I was doing like a sneaker con event.
Oh, nice.
Shopify, because it's like, it's used all over the world. I don't know how they have it set up, but I was able to take payments from people over in China with no issues right there on the spot. So I like them because if you're somebody like us, right, you're trying to either sell online or sell in person, they have all the resources you need so you could do that and keep everything on track. So I will tell people to look into that. I think they're like $30 a month. I think it's well worth it, to be honest with you. I think they might be one of the best e-commerce sites you could use as an artist. Okay. Now, as far as social media, what you could use, like I said, I'll go back to TikTok, to YouTube. If you're in Instagram and you want to, if that's what you want to be into, I think that's totally fine. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think whatever social media fits your style is the best social media for you, right? Okay. So like if you're good at writing, Twitter's fine. If you're good at pictures and, maybe you sell to more of an audience of women, Pinterest would be perfect. You get what I'm saying? So I think any of these can work. I just think you should pick one and go all in on it so you could be able to maximize, spreading the word about your brand.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man. This was awesome. It was great speaking to you. Do you have any other last minute questions before we dip out of here?
None are coming to mind, man. I think you answered everything, and I do appreciate your time.
Yo, man, I appreciate your time for this. Before we go, where can people find you?
Everybody can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok under BC Graphix. That's BCGRAPHIX.
And we're going to make sure to have all that in the notes on YouTube so everybody knows where to find your amazing artwork. Hey, man, I look forward to you. I look forward to your journey as an artist. And next time I come down to Dallas, I'm going to hit you up to get some barbecue.
Yes, sir. Hey, we got to.
All right, man, you be good.
All right. God bless.